UV mapping is every 3D artist's least fun thing to do, but it does have to be done, at least for now. Who knows what tech will be introduced in the future that solves the UV mapping conundrum. UVs work in Unreal no differently than they do in virtually every other 3D application, so there's not much new to learn here when setting them up. Just keep a few things in mind when generating UVs and you'll be fine. How you create UVs for a given asset depends largely upon the way you intend to texture that object. A common practice in architectural visualization is to apply a simple world projection map to texture all sides of an object. Textures can easily be tiled this way. This technique will work fine in Unreal as well. Just be sure, if you want to be able to scale the texture, to add a multiplication modifier to the material to do so. Let's go ahead and look at how to tile that texture inside of Unreal Studio. We have the same couch here. I'm just going to double click on the material here. All right, and we're just going to tile the base color of our material. So I'm going to pull off of the UVs here, the UV input on the texture sample. And then we're going to type in multiply. There we go. Just add that math node there. Now off of the A of our multiply, we're going to add the texture coordinates. We can spell coordinates right there. There we go. Texture coordinate. And then off of B, we'll multiply that by a constant value, which is right here. So now we'll specify, if we were to set this to 1, that would be the way it currently is tiled. If we set it to 2, that'll multiply it by 2. So just watch the viewport here. All right, and there we go. We've tiled it by 2. And obviously we could change this to any value we want. Let's go ahead and set it back to 1 for now. Be careful that your UV maps consider that the viewer can walk around in the scene and see things from angles you don't expect them to. This painting, for instance, was never meant to be seen from the side in still renders. It has obvious UV mapping issues that will need to be corrected before sending it to Unreal for a real-time walkthrough. Another option for UVs is to create clean, non-overlapping, unique UVs. Those UVs should basically take up space 0 to 1 and, as we said, shouldn't overlap. This is used a lot in video game development where textures are often more complex with lots of baked-in information and non-tileable details, such as pinstriping on a car panel or small graphics on a person's jacket. In this case, the best option is to manually create your UVs using the 3D Tools UV editor. Just be sure the UVs are, again, non-overlapping, have adequate space or padding between themselves and the edges of the texture border, and don't go past space 0, 1 on UV coordinate space. Either method works great in Unreal, but if you find that your materials look strange in Unreal, the first place to look for issues is more often than not either UV problems or overlapping faces. This leads us to our next topic, light map UVs. If you've never worked in real time, you may have never used light map UVs, but I think you're going to find that it's really not that difficult of a concept to understand. We'll discuss why they're needed and how to create them up next.